Let's start this young streamage here. Make sure it's good. Make sure. Let's see here. Stream is starting. It's starting. It's about to go down. And it looks like I'm almost live. There we go. Okay, stream it's going. Yeah, looking all bootleg and everything. That's what I'm talking about. What y'all know about that? Look at how that look. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, what's going on, people? Okay, I need y'all to let me know how the stream going. Is it good? Is it flowing? Is it working? What's it doing? Alright, make sure that's good. It's buffering. Okay, so here we go with that shit all over again. It's buffering, so let me make sure that this is closed. And this is closed. Let's do that. I'll quit that. Yep. Okay, so hopefully that's stopping working for you. Good. Refresh. What's up? What's going on, good people? What's going on? Just gotta tidy up a couple of more things here just so I can make sure we get the best thing we can have that's possible. Alright, I do want to keep that open because that might be used later for the phones. If we do that. Alright, guys, am I good? Is it looking good? It's working? Cool, that's what's up. Finally, I was fooling around with this thing. Y'all don't know how long. Boy, it's hard being an amateur, Jack. It's hard. But I think we got it cracking. So let me see here. I want to broadcast on the young Facebook for a few minutes just to get some people to come on over. If they gonna come on and go with me. Boom, boom. Come on over to my channel. You need to do that. You need to do that. Yeah. And come on and go with me. Come on over to my channel. Alright, so we good? We good. A little better. I appreciate y'all stopping through. Let's get it started. Now I want to try something different. I got one of my dearest, closest friends that I've grew up with. He is a music producer, and he has been so gracious as to deliver me a couple of tracks. So I was listening to him the past couple of days, and I wanted you guys to get a listen and see what you guys thought about it. So I'm gonna try to see if I can make this work. I think I got it. I think I can make this play, and you guys can hear it. Y'all can tell me what y'all think. While we doing that, I'm gonna get the Facebook thing fired up, and then we gonna jump into it and get it cracking. So here we go. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this. I think y'all can. I hope y'all can. Let me see. Let me know if it's too loud or something or what. Can y'all hear that? Y'all let me know if y'all hear that music or not. Yo, what's up, Facebook Live? For those of you tuning in right now, I need you all to go to my YouTube channel. We're doing a live show right now. I just started it over on YouTube, and I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes right before we get into the topic. Then I'll cut it. Then you guys can just come on over. Hopefully, you'll be over by then. But the link for the YouTube channel is in the little description box right there. I'll put in the little information about the show. Or you can just go to my YouTube channel at The Relationship Rehab on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, then type in The Relationship Rehab. You'll see me. Subscribe, like, and check out the live show. I'm going to be checking in with you guys for the next couple of minutes, and then we're going to get it cracking over on YouTube. I'm gonna drop this in here for you mods. This is everything right here. Y'all can copy and paste this and do whatever y'all need to do with it. But that's all of me right there. Can y'all hear that music? Yes or no? Let me know if y'all can hear that music. Alright, so that was like the first one there. And then let's see if we can get to this next one here. Can y'all hear any of this music? Can somebody let me know in the chat if you can hear it? You can't hear the beat. Okay, cool. Alright, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, I just ended that little window there, and I just cut that one out too. Alright, I'm gonna play this next one. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is done by my boy Marcus, aka the Beat God. You took care of your boy. I'm trying to give me some intro music so I can get a little more official when I'm coming on and doing my live and doing my videos, because there's already so much music you can use that will work. Yeah, you know what, Chris? I don't have XSplit. I think I'm gonna try it, man, because right now I'm using OBS. OBS is decent, so I'm seeing how that goes. But I think I might have to just try XSplit to see how it goes. Hey, man, to those people that are right here checking me out on Facebook Live, look, check out my description box, in my little message box. You'll see the link to my live show on YouTube. Come on over there, check it out. I'm gonna do this just for like maybe about another 5 minutes. Just checking out some beats over here on the YouTube side of the game for my channel. let me know what y'all think. Y'all should come on over to YouTube like right now, and then y'all can check me out there, and then that's where the show is gonna be. So I'm just doing this just to give people a heads up that don't know me on YouTube and just know me on Facebook. Go to youtube.com, then type in The Relationship Rehab. You'll see my channel. Click on the live show that's there right now. We streaming live. We getting ready to get started in a couple minutes. I think the topic is gonna be hot. If I get enough people, I'll either open up the phone lines and people can call in, give me their thoughts, ideas, whatever y'all want to do. And actually to the YouTube chat room, what y'all think? Y'all think we can? Y'all want to open up? Y'all want me to open up the phone lines? Y'all let me know. After I do my little thing and say my little piece, we can open up the phone lines and I can hear from y'all too if y'all want to do that. So just let me know. I'm trying to work on this buffer. That just did it. Alright, cool. Cool. Hey, shout out. Let me see if I got it. Looks like I just got my watch just went off here. So somebody must have shown me some love. I believe so too. Yep, yes they did. Alright. Shout out to the people that's showing your boy some love already before we getting started. That's what I'm talking about. Boy, y'all, you know what, man? When you put in work, man, people recognize and they appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys for appreciating me. Real talk. Shout out to my man, Duron White. Thank you, brother, for the donation. I appreciate it. All right, look. So this is the topic. I think it's a really good topic. I think it's a very interesting one. I think it's something that we need to have. I have had this discussion with several people, and I thought that it was time to just bring it to the forefront, put it out there, and just to give my opinions on it. And hopefully, you guys can, give me your opinions on it too, or what you think about it, and we can go from there. So let me go ahead and close this guys out. Get that going, and we should be ready to rock and roll. Yep. That is the only one that's open, and boom. Okay. So, the topic for the show on tonight, as they say in the old school church, on tonight, is protests, right? So we're talking about protesting, and we're talking about is protesting, is there power in protest? And if there is power or if there isn't power, that's one question. Or have protests just literally become peacock parties, where people can just basically come, get attention, get some notoriety, get their like game up, get the likes on Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be. Is it something to where people just wanted to who want some attention, this is what they do and this is where they go. So when there is a protest for whatever reason, do we have a protest, and do the people that come to that protest, are they there to actually bring forth some kind of change, or are they just showing up because it's the end thing to do and they can get seen? They can go live on Facebook, show people where they at. They can go live on Instagram. They can take Snapchats and show people where they at, get likes and get the attention and the thumbs up. Is that what it's become? Or is there real power in protesting in today's world? So that's really what I want to talk about. I know quite a few people in the chat have been talking about it early and giving their thoughts and opinions. I didn't read all of that, so I don't have time to scroll back through. But if you want to summarize some of that and throw it in the chat after I get through talking, we can do that. And if you guys really want to, we can open up the phone lines. To my people that's on Facebook Live, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate that. We are over here broadcasting live on YouTube. So you can click that link that's in the message bar that I put up there for the Facebook Live, or you can just go to YouTube, type in therelationshiprehab.com, like, subscribe, and join the channel so you get alerts like that when they do come, and you don't have to go through this where you got to click on one thing and jump over to the other. So for those of you that are still on Facebook Live or that are watching this on the replay, we're going to be up for probably about maybe at least an hour and a half, maybe, or hour, maybe hour and a half, depending on if we open up the phone lines or not. We may do that too, but you guys can check out the whole show over on YouTube. So I appreciate everybody that came through. I appreciate everybody that checked me out. Shout out to Anitra. Shout out to my man Birdo. What's up, boy? That's old school back in the hood there, baby. What's happening? My man Eric Jones. What's happening, brother? That's high school there. My boy Rio. That's my man, my brother from them Best Buy days. And my man DC, Darian Crum. Boy, we go all the way back like Vogue ties and Cadillacs. Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you guys checking us out on Facebook. I'm about to end this stream now. Please join us over there on YouTube. It's going to be hot. It's going to be lit. It's going to be some great discussion. So you guys check it out. Peace. And I'm out. All right. To my YouTube family, all the people that's in Soto Nation, I want to give a shout out to all of you guys for stopping by. First and foremost, I appreciate you guys just coming by to check me out, hear my thoughts. Hopefully I can hear some of your thoughts, see some of your comments, and we can really dialogue and chop it up. So one of the things that I guess that I was really concerned about was that I didn't want people to think, I guess, or get the idea that maybe we shouldn't protest. I'm not that person that don't think that we shouldn't protest, or I'm not, I guess, anti-protest. My thing with protesting is, first and foremost, I think that it has become more of a fad or more of a party type of vibe, or just a get together. I think we get more out of a get together or a hangout than we do at a protest, because all it is a bunch of cameras, it's a bunch of lights. You got a bunch of people watching you, but you're not actually putting in motion real change. I think that there is an awareness piece when it comes to protesting, but I think that awareness piece is very small. I don't think that protesting is something where you do it for days on end, weeks on end, or months on end, and then there's nothing to actually show for it but a bunch of video footage and a bunch of media coverage. I think that the protesting of back in the day, and that's why I kind of use that comparison of saying, the protests from back in the day, when you're talking about the civil rights movement, I think it was a lot more productive. I think that there was a lot, and it was a lot more gotten out of it than what it is today. Because when you're talking about what the Martin Luther King did, and the SCLC and all of those different civil rights groups, what they did was that they actually came together and they did what a lot of people don't do in protesting today. They don't have a plan. And I think that they did. So it wasn't a thing of just saying, okay, well, now we got these people that are protesting, and now that they're protesting, you got all of this attention, you got your spotlight, you got your 15 minutes of fame. What do you really have to say? And I think that when that happens for us in today's time, all it is just us complaining. All it is us talking about what ain't right. All it is a bunch of us talking about what they doing to us and what's wrong, and how we gonna stop, we gonna hurt them by not shopping no more, and we gonna stand up and fight back. And nothing ever comes from that. So when you're thinking about the protests that have come up of late, the Dove protests. So we're talking about protesting, and we're talking about going up and raising up against Dove because Dove made some racist commercials. Okay, I get that. And do I think that Dove is a racist company? Don't know. Do I think that their commercial was racist? I would say no. And the reason why I say that it's not racist, I think it was maybe insensitive and stereotypical, but it wasn't racist, because in my opinion, racist or racism is a system, or it's something that is oppressing another group of people. So it's like if you're not having something like that happen where you are literally being held up, held back, oppressed, or stopped for some particular point of just for the sheer fact of the color of your skin, if that's not happening to you, then what's being said or what you may perceive coming from somebody is not necessarily racist. It may be prejudice, it may be stereotypical, or it may be insensitive to disrespectful in a mindset of saying, well, they're saying something about black people that ain't true. I get that. So how do you fight that? How do you make a company do what you want them to do? And that's simple. Either you're gonna have an alternative, which we don't have because we don't have nobody with the black version of Dove, that doesn't exist, or you need to go about it in a more legal way. You need to be able to have some type of political power or some type of legal stature that's in place to where that kind of stuff doesn't happen. So it's like you can't affect change unless you are establishing laws and policies. You coming out and just saying what it is that you want to say just doesn't necessarily put you where you're trying to go, or it won't get you where you want to be just because you're screaming and hollering about something that people really don't care about. The only ones that care about it are you, and you are still selecting few. So that's my thing. When you're talking about the what's another protest, the Kanika Jenkins, as tragic as that little girl's death was, that young lady's death was, because she's not a baby, she's just a very young girl. With that tragic death, even the fact the way that she lived her life, that type of stuff happens when you in that environment and hanging with that type of crowd. The fact of the matter is, people were protesting against the hotel because they felt that the hotel had something to do with it, or the hotel was partially responsible for it. And you were doing that to what end, though? You had people coming from different states. You had people coming from different cities, all walks of life, standing outside on the street in front of the hotel, literally banging on pots and pans. How is that supposed to bring about some type of change that you would want to see happen? If you want to hold, and in my opinion, at the very least, what could have been done was you could have held the hotel responsible in the fact that once they knew that that room was over capacity, they should have cleared everybody out. And with that happening, then maybe that wouldn't have happened to that young lady if they would have cleared that hotel room out. So you can definitely put them at fault at that. But the fact that people were saying, well, she was walking around drunk, there have been plenty of people walking around a hotel drunk. And it is not up to the hotel staff to take care of that person, because that person is usually an adult that is walking around that is drunk. As long as they're not disturbing anybody, if they're not or damaging any property or anything like that, you're pretty much going to leave them alone. I've been in several hotels, I've been in several resorts where people have been just flat out drunk as a skunk. And the fact that they were drunk, it wasn't a big problem because they were, they weren't at risk of hurting somebody. They weren't damaging any property. And for their own general purposes, the only thing you could just see was that person was just basically off their square. So you just basically said, okay, well, as long as they sitting down or they ain't tearing up nothing, we're going to let them, do what they do. Let them walk it off, whatever the case may be. You let them do that. So what was a protest? What was the end to that means of that protest? When you're talking about, I guess the biggest one that's been out so in the past few months has been the Colin Kaepernick thing. That to me is a prime example of what happens when you have a protest or somebody is protesting something and there's no plan in place. Because what started out as a protest based on bringing about awareness, and this is strictly straight out of Colin's mouth, and you can even watch the video I did about it. He wanted to bring about awareness about the injustices that were going on in the black communities and how the police were treating, or law enforcement was treating, black people. He wanted to bring about that awareness, and he essentially did that. He brought about the awareness. He used his NFL athletic stardom to do that. And once that was done, he kept on protesting, but had no specific agenda on how to change what it is that he was bringing to light. So it's like now you had this dude just basically kneeling every game or protesting every game, whatever you want to call it, and there was no plan behind it. There was no, okay, so what do we do to fix this behind it? So it essentially went from awareness, or a protest about awareness on how black people were being treated by law enforcement. It essentially went from that to why Colin Kaepernick ain't got no job. So and not to say that I think that he's not being treated unfairly, because he is. He's being, silently blackballed. Nobody wants to deal with him because he's not that great of a player to deal with all of the baggage that comes with him. So everybody's pretty much, well, when it comes to the owners, they're pretty much turning a blind eye to him or turning their backs on him because they don't want to deal with him. But the thing is that how do you get from let's stop the police from mistreating and abusing and killing black people to why I ain't got no job? That's a far stretch, because at the end of the day, you may not have a job as a quarterback, but you are a multimillionaire. You don't have to worry about living in the communities that you protesting for. You don't have to do that. You live in a very nice neighborhood. You live a very nice life, even though you don't have a job. And I'm not hating on that, but my point is, how do you get from the black community and people suffering in it to I ain't got no job? You get there because you don't have a plan in place on how to rectify the problem that you're protesting against in the first place. So that's my biggest thing with the whole protesting, thing that we do today. There isn't anything in place for us to say, well, we want to change this, or we want to do that, we want to change this, or we want to fix that. That's not in place. It's just a bunch of saying this ain't right, that ain't right, this ain't right, and y'all need to stop. So my thing is this: if you are gonna protest, first and foremost, before you begin your protest, you need to make sure that what it is you're protesting is worth protesting. You need to vet it out. You need to make sure that it's something that you yourself can say, hey, this is a problem I have identified. Yes, great, but I need to first establish a plan on how to fix it. And then I can call on my government officials. I can call on my local government officials. I can call on my friends and fans to all come together so that we can bring attention to this, so that we can get the attention of our government, so that we can get the proper laws and policies in place to bring about change. That is the biggest thing that I think that we are missing when we're talking about what's the difference between the protesting of back then and what's the protesting of today. So when you talking about the civil rights movement, those people have specific laws and things that they can specifically point to say, well, the reason why we're protesting is because we are not being treated fairly based on this law. This law says that we should have this equally and justly, just like everyone else, and we can clearly show you that we do not. So that is what we want to have rectified. We want to be able to go into just, and in hindsight now, I'm looking at it, segregation wasn't the best thing for us at the end of the day, but nevertheless, it was something that we all that our forefathers fought for and our ancestors fought for. So when they were doing that and going through that whole motion, they were able to show legally what they needed to have addressed so that they could get it changed. And once they did that, they still had to go through the growing pains and the issue of trying to get that kind of stuff, to get those kind of things rectified and to get those things upheld by law enforcement so that they could do it right. And that was the big back and forth. That was the big protesting rebellion that people were going against. But nevertheless, they had a plan, and it was a legal side to it that was proven, and it was granted, and they had to uphold that part of the law. And those people that went against that, they were actually being prosecuted by the law. So that was the point. When you're talking about the civil rights movement back then and you're talking about Black Lives Matter today, what laws have Black Lives Matters went after to try to get change? Not a one. What political base does Black Lives Matter have today? None. So every time you see Black Lives Matter, it's only, they are like a reactionary group. So once something happens, then they show up, and then they want to talk about what's right and what's wrong, what happened and who did this and who did that. That's what goes on now. And because of that, you don't really get anything but media coverage, and you just get a spotlight for those few minutes that you are on TV or on social media or Facebook Live, whatever the case may be. So once you get that thing, then now it's just a simple fact of saying, well, hey, we hear what you're saying. Okay, great. Keep on moving and we can go ahead and do what we were doing. And that's it. That's the end of it. And we, because of that, there is no specific thing that you can do to say, well, because this is happening, we're telling the police this, and the police are saying, no, they're not doing it, they're not upholding the law, so now we want to address the police. You can't do that because there is no law in place that says you can't do this, and this is what's happening. So when people talk about, well, all of the people that have been getting shot by the police, getting killed by the police, yep, they have been, and yep, you may think that it is morally wrong, but it is not legally wrong. Because when you know the law, you can understand why a policeman or law enforcement has the authority to kill somebody or to use their firearm. And that is based on what the totality of the circumstances are. And if they feel, because it's up to their judgment, if they feel that something like that is warranted, then they will absolutely execute that and do that. Let me see here. I see there's something going on with my audio here. Let's do this. All right. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better. Yeah. Sound like oh, you know what? This may be on. Let me turn that off. Because there is no back and forth there. And is that better now? Is the mic a little bit better? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, just getting back to what I was saying. So it's like when you're talking about, in today's time compared to like that Black Lives Matter movement, that's one of my biggest pet peeves about Black Lives Matter. That's why I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter. And a lot of people will argue this and say, well, you know what, at least, we got some people doing something, and it's not producing anything, is doing nothing at the same time. So it's like if you have something set up to where you're saying, well, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do this, and there's nothing that can be produced from it, it's still a waste of time. All you're doing is wasting energy, and you're wasting time. So it's like, why do that? Those time and energy are valuable resources, and it's the fact that you're wasting that just to say that you're doing something. That doesn't make any sense. That's not logical at all. So I think that there needs to be a more of a thought out process when it comes to people attempting to protest, as opposed to a bunch of people taking to the streets saying, we just gonna walk up and down with these banners and bang on some pots and pans until somebody do something that we want. That doesn't make any sense at all. So it's like with the protesting of today, I absolutely do not think that they work. I think that the protests of today are nothing but, like I said in the title, they're nothing but peacock parties. They're nothing but an opportunity for people to come around, flash what they're wearing, flash what they're doing, put it on social media, and just put it out in the world so people can see where they're at and what's up and what's going on with them. That's all I see. And the fact that that is what people have resorted to when things aren't right or to their liking in their own neighborhoods, in their own communities, that's disturbing, because we'll turn right back around and say, well, why we don't have nothing, why we aren't getting anywhere, and why we aren't doing anything or growing as a people, as a culture, it's because of things like that happen. We do things just to be doing something. We do things that have no real tangible or value to them that we can actually quantify. We can't say because we did A, B, C, and D, we were able to produce and get E, F, G. We aren't doing that. So the fact that we're doing these protests, and the fact that we have people coming out, spending their time, taking off work, for those of us that do have jobs, taking off of work, standing in the cold, standing in the rain, and all that kind of stuff, it's not doing anything, because you look at what comes after that, and it's nothing. And the only thing that you remember is just the footage. Just like when the Black Lives Matter movement went and took over the rally for, what was the dude that was running for president? The old guy. God dog it. Bernie Sanders. So just like when Bernie Sanders was up, he's at a rally, his own rally that he put together, that he paid for with his campaign. He's at that rally, and now these chicks from Black Lives Matter just gonna come and bum rush the show. And it was like, it was beyond disrespectful, and it was so unprofessional, and they still just let them have their way. But you did that for what? Just to say Black Lives Matter? And you saying it to how many times have people heard that? How many times has that been said? And how much has actually changed from that? You telling me that just because you making a statement over and over again that people hear you to the point to where it changes? No. It was stupid. It was unprofessional. It was ignorant. And it was rewarded by actually giving them time to speak. And then they didn't even say anything that was worth it, that was worthwhile. I don't even remember what they said. I just remember the chick cutting them off and talking crazy as hell, saying, yeah, we gonna say this and Black Lives Matter. Y'all gonna let me talk. And it's like, that's the thing that really just turned me off completely at that point. Because I'm like, who are you to think you can just come up to somebody else's rally that they paid for and you just gonna say what you want to say? Ain't nobody out here asking for you. They not checking for you. And if they was, you need to have your own rally. But you just came and hijacked Bernie shit just so you can say, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what we going to talk about. This is how it's going to be. Y'all need to recognize, okay, here we go. And it's like when you talking about all of the, even like in Chicago, when that kid got shot 15 times by the police officer, they went to downtown Michigan. They went on the Michigan Mile. They went on the Michigan Mile downtown in the heart of the shopping district and all that kind of stuff during the holidays, and their whole thing was, we ain't gonna spend no money today. Okay, I guarantee you them people wouldn't spend money the day after that. The people that shop down there, because most of us don't even shop down there, the people that shop down there was just like, okay, you guys go ahead, y'all can have this shit for today, but tomorrow we'll be down here to get our gifts and stuff for our children and friends and family on Christmas, because just because you guys think that you're going to shut us down by standing out in the middle of the streets don't mean that I'm going to not spend my money. I'll just stay home and order my stuff online. It was the same thing. There was no, oh man, when those people went downtown and took over the streets of Chicago for that 4 or 5 hours, man, it just really hurt the shopping industry. The retail industry suffered dramatic loss. No, it was just delayed. So it's like you did that and you went through all of those motions to do that. To what end? What laws did you all stand outside for to get changed? Not a damn one. You stand outside in the cold, in the rain, and you got these signs, these megaphones, these big old billboards. You got these T-shirts on. Everybody's selling stuff and buying stuff, and you talking about black this, black that, but you don't have anything in place to where a law has been changed as to where you can say, hey, if this happens or this happens and you kill somebody because of it, you will not only lose your job, but you will go to jail. If you really want to change something about the police, you really want to change something about law enforcement, then you need to put in there that get a law to where a police officer can't justify them killing somebody by saying that they were scared. If they scared, then they should leave. And if they can't leave, then that's different. But if you are in a situation where you're a police officer and you scared, you in fear for your life, and you can leave the situation or the area, you need to leave. Like the guy that got shot holding his hands up, standing by his truck with 4 other police officers around, and yet and still, this one female officer, she shot this dude anyway because she said she was afraid. Is that wrong? Yes. Is it legal? Apparently so, because she didn't go to jail. But if the law was changed to where you can't use that fear unless you're like cornered, if there's somewhere for you to go and you scared, leave. Retreat. That's how you get something changed so that when it happens again, that person will go to jail. Because most people don't even know that as a law enforcement officer, you are within your right to kill somebody if you tell them that you are in fear of your life or someone else's. And at the end of the day, if it's just me and a guy walking down the street and I decide to pull him over and he's 6'9", 334 pounds, and he scares me, I need to get back in my car and drive off and wait for backup or call for backup. I don't need to continue to engage that dude because I got a gun and I can shoot him. If I'm in that position where I'm scared and I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know if the situation was so overwhelming, then you should leave that area. You have every right to do that. Every right to do that. So at the end of the day, when you are in law enforcement and you have that gun, you have that weapon, yes, you do have a power and an authority over that person. And if that person is not going to listen to you or take your commands, then you absolutely go through the force continuum and you level up the way you need to level up. But to have somebody with their hands up and you shoot them anyway, just because you scared, I should not lose my life because you scared and I got my hands up. At the end of the day, that's plain and simple. And you say that chick was racist, but the lines are nope. The lines are no D. Oh D, I can definitely open up the lines. We can have a conversation about it if you want to call in because you said you disagree with me. Cool. Do you want to call in? We can definitely do that. Just give me a couple minutes. I can set the lines up and get that cracking. Yeah. Thank you, brother Chris, for the donation. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, sir. But that is something that you can do to actually say we've changed this law so this doesn't happen anymore. So it's like when people wanted to change the law on how, the blacks were being treated, the civil rights movement was about establishing civil rights. It wasn't about us saying, well, this ain't right, or this what they doing to us is wrong. It was about us acknowledging the moral aspect of it and then saying, how do we effectively stop that? We have to have some type of law, some type of policy in place in order to do that. And once we got that in place, now you can hold people accountable to those laws. So it's like, man, if you think something is wrong and you think something ain't right, that's great. But the only way that you're going to get people to stop doing it is you have to have a law in place to keep them from doing it, because that is what binds them to say, hey, if you do this, then you suffer consequences. If there's no law in place, then it's just, oh, okay, well, that was your judgment. That's what you thought. That's what, at the end of the day, hey, we get it. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the narrative of what it is of us in the media when it comes to black people, what's our narrative? We always doing the worst vile shit on TV. We always the people that are the lowest of the low, doing the lowest things possible on the earth, because that's all that's being shown. That's a part of the narrative of what it is to be a black person. So if I don't know a black person, if I don't live in a black community and I don't know people in the black community, the only thing I know about black people is what I see on TV. And what I see on TV is not a good look. And that, at the end of the day, when you talking about changing that, the Dove commercial, how come nobody's asking why did the chick do the commercial? When the chick did the commercial, when she signed up for that check, why didn't she say, well, I want to see what it is that's happening. I want to see what it is that I'm doing. I just don't want to stand behind no green screen or whatever, show up on set and shoot this and go on my merry way. Where's the accountability for her? And not to say that it's her fault, but there has to be some accountability for those people that are actually doing the things that we're seeing on TV that you would say is racist. When she was pulling that shirt over her head or whatever, or standing next to the ashy screen, then it's like, well, what is that about? So it's like there has to be accountability, and this is what I'll end with this before we go to the phone lines. There has to be an accountability on our end first. And the reason why I say it has to be on our end first is because we can't expect somebody or a race of people or a system or a group of people or whoever to acknowledge us, take us seriously than how we're treated based on how we're treating ourselves. The more that they see us doing us in, then the more they're gonna be less concerned about people doing us in. The more people see us doing the fuckery, the debauchery, the just wild and crazy stuff, the more that people see that, then the more that people they're gonna be less inclined to give a damn. They're gonna say, that's what they do. They don't care. They kill each other. They killed 8 people in just one weekend in a small city in Chicago. They don't care about each other. Why should we care? 36 people died over the past 2 weeks in Chicago. Why do we care if one officer kills one black person because he thought he had a gun? You're not gonna care. Not to say that that's right, because that one life is just as important as the 36, the other 30 or whatever, 35. But why am I going to be really concerned about that when I see nobody's even concerned about the other ones? How come Black Lives Matter is not concerned about Ray Ray, Pookie, Nook Nook, Man Man, and all of them that's in the hood every day dying? Where they protest at? But the minute you got 3 month on the force white cop Tom Johansson, who's by himself and comes across a car of black dudes, and he thinks they all gangbangers because they driving in his neighborhood, and he pulls them over and then he unloads. Hell yeah, he's wrong as hell. But at the end of the day, why we going all the way out there to protest and we won't even protest against us? That's killing us. That's a point. That's a valid point. And for us to not acknowledge that is a problem, because we need to be paying attention to what's going on with us before we go. I just thought of this. Imagine if there were, during the civil rights movement, imagine if there were people if there were blacks lynching blacks. Imagine if there were people beating up black teenagers like Emmett Till on the regular. Do you think that people would have really paid attention to what happened to Emmett Till if that was already happening to blacks by blacks in their own neighborhoods? No, they wouldn't have gave a damn. They'd be like, hey, you guys are doing it too. Do you think if people was walking down the street and saw black people stringing up blacks and hanging them by nooses from trees, do you think that that would have been something that people would have been like, yeah, maybe we do need to stop that? Because they'd be like, no, they're doing it to each other. Why can't we do it? There has to be an accountability. All of the shit that was happening to us back then during those times when we were being oppressed, we weren't doing it to ourselves. We were taking care of each other. And it was the other people that were doing it to us. So there was a distinct difference on how we're being treated by another group of people strictly based on the color of our skin. And we were able to see that. But if you can't acknowledge that part on your own side, you can't acknowledge the fire in your own backyard, but you talking about the house that's burning 2 blocks over because it's owned by a different person, by some different colored people, your argument doesn't hold that much water. It's not that it's invalid, but it just doesn't have as much weight to it as it could or as it should, to where it would be just recognized by everybody. So it's like, that's the difference in what I'm talking about. So you have to make sure that what it is you're asking for, you're clearly demonstrating on your own end. You're demonstrating it already. I'm already taking care of us and keeping us together, and we already are striving and trying to do for each other and take care of each other. Y'all the ones that's coming in here and y'all are messing with us. Y'all are treating us unfairly. This is what we want to stop, and we want it stopped by putting this law in place. Now you have some type of foundation. You have a base. You have something that you can build off of. So that's my rant pretty much. I'm going to set these phones up really quick, and then we can get it cracking. Hang on for a second here. Oh, actually, while I'm doing that, I can play another song. I'm gonna let y'all hear this other track while this is going down. We're gonna go right there. Yeah. So these tracks, I got like 3. I got like 3 tracks on here, man, that one of my buddies did for me to give me some music for the channel. So when I'm, coming on and going off or whatever the case may be, I can have some tracks to play. When I'm doing my short videos, I can have some better and different background music. So y'all check this out. Let me know what y'all think. Let's see if we can get this going. And then I'm gonna set up these lines real quick. Alright, so now let me do my thing here and call in real quick and we will get this thing going. Yep.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host pin. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important...
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3,
2, 1. Alrighty, we are live. There it is. Alright, people. So you see the number on the screen. Go ahead and call in And let's see. We'll move that there and move this over here. I don't need to see that, and I don't need to see that either. So that'll work. All right. So man, while we all right, waiting on some people to call in here, I just want to give some shout outs. Let me start here from the bottom up, I guess. My man Chris Thorne, my man Supreme Chi, Whoppin'. Want to give a shout out to Majestic Sylvester 88. You like that beat, man? Thank you, sir. That's my partner, man. His name the Beat God, my boy Marcus, man. He put me on, man. So hopefully I can get a little bit more legit and get me some nice music to go along with my videos and a little intro song or something. I might even drop some bars. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Shout out to my girl Jinx, Applebite, Majestic, Super T. What's going on, brother? Yes, indeed. Yeah. So let me say, I sound like I'm talking through a fan. Is it better now? I hope it is. I don't know, man. I gotta get my money up so I can get me a better computer, I guess, man. I'm struggling on the computer side of the game. It's like I'm running too much stuff. I guess that's what it is, and what it takes to, I guess, broadcast the show is just like way too much from my computer. I got a older Mac, so I guess that's what I need to do is go in and get my weight up, man, and get me a new one. So yeah, hopefully I'll do that soon. Revy Guns, what's happening? Yeah, Teresa, what's going on? Thank y'all so much for coming through. Thank you for donating. My man Chris Thorns donated to his brother. I appreciate that, man. That's all good in the hood. I appreciate that. Who else donated? Somebody else donated earlier too. I think it was Duran. Yeah, Duran White. He donated. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you too, man. And my boy Sylvester Peterson, he just donated too, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank y'all, man. That's all good. Oh, hey, there we go. Got that call. Let's see if we can bring him in. Hold on one second. All right. I should be able to do this. Caller, can you hear me? Oh, wait. Let me take the young mute off. And yeah. There we go. Caller, you there?
What's up, Brian? This is your boy Chris Thorne Show. How you doing, fam?
My man Chris. Yeah, let me make sure your levels is right. Turn up this volume here. There we go. All right, go ahead and say something. Can y'all hear Chris good?
Yo. This your man Chris Thorne. Can you hear me?
I can hear you wonderful, man. I can hear you. I hope they can too.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all let me know in the chat room if y'all can hear it. Okay. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat room too.
Oh, okay, cool.
See if they can hear me or not.
All right, yeah, y'all let me know if y'all can hear my brother Chris. Yeah, I think so, man. Because I think the way it's set up now, I think if I can hear you good, then they can hear you. So we should be good.
All right.
Yeah, well, go ahead, brother. Let me hear your thoughts,
man. I like this topic that you're doing. It's a good topic, and you've been following me for a minute too, and I've been doing my shows, and I done mentioned this a couple of times too about this protesting thing, and that's one of my problems too. When our own people are hurting each other, why we don't ever see anybody holding a protest for us? Even with little kids, I live in Memphis, Tennessee, man, and little kids down here get killed at almost a high, and you hardly ever see in a protest. But now you would see vigils, if I said that right, where they do little teddy bears on the front porch, or
candlelight vigils,
and all that.
Candlelight vigils, yep.
Yeah, you see them. Yeah, you can see them do all that and whatnot, and that's fine. But here's my problem: Black Lives Matter got a thing against white folks. Well, who you think be the mixture crowd of us when we do the vigil? It'd be the white people. No, not to try to sound stereotypical, but it be them that join us in the crowd. So I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad I'm not the only one that think like that. Why is it that Black Lives Only matters, when there's somebody white involved. But when it's brother on brother, sister on sister, they seem like they don't give a shit.
Yeah. I guess my thing is too, I mean, there's just the whole aspect of us taking care of us. I think because I'm not naive to say that, you know, oh, it's not white people. We don't have a problem with with race in our country. I think we do. I think there is a race issue in our country. I absolutely agree with that. I think that, you know, it's a definite prevalent problem. However, I don't think that the whole race issue thing that we have going on is directly impacting us every day like we have other issues that are impacting us like every day. The fact that we don't control the politics in our own neighborhood, that's a daily impact. There are resources, resources that are not being provided to you, not because you black, but because your politicians in your own neighborhood are not fighting for you. They are going along with the flow because they getting 6 figures and free health care and a pension plan after they done been in the game for a few years. That's what the problem is. So when people talking about, you know, Trump closing the schools, man, Trump closing the schools ain't got nothing to do with your local politicians fighting for funds to keep your schools open. Because if your school got the resources and your school has the enrollment, then they not going to close your school. So it's like those are things that people are so twisted on and don't know the process on how to establish themselves and to gain power to where they can call out certain things and make choices and say, no, we're not doing this. We're going to do this. That's how they can get those type of things done, but they don't want to hold their politicians accountable. Most people don't even know who they politicians, or they say, well, I don't vote because it's rigged. Voting is this, or vote. Well, now what are you really talking about then? You want somebody to treat you right that you won't even step up and do for yourself first? It's like you have to be willing to do for yourself first before you can actually say, well, now I want to hold these people accountable because they're keeping me from getting where I'm trying to go.
Absolutely. Just like you brought up earlier about Teresa with her daughter case. Now, I know everybody agrees different, but this mother was strange with her daughter's death. Now, it's mighty funny. They was all out there saying justice for Kanika. Fine. I think it's a beautiful thing to see black people come together. I really do. It's a beautiful thing to see them come together. But for some reason, when their funds or money is involved, they changed everything. Yep. Notice when she thought they was paying her for money. When she thought they were paying her for money, all of a sudden, she wants a protest to stop.
Yep.
When she found out it was money involved. Now it's like, you know, are you really here for your daughter's death, your blood, your flesh and blood? Or are you really here just for the attention and green that's coming with it? Because I'm like this, I don't give a shit how much money's in there. If my baby died, fuck that money. We'll worry about that money later. I need to know what happened to my baby. Yep. I'm not going to stop no fucking protest because of some damn money that I didn't know about. Fuck that money. I'll get to that later. But this lady found out about the money, said protest over. Exactly. I'm like, something strange and weird about that, brother.
And you know what?
Something strange and weird about that.
I still ain't seen nobody say nothing about it. It's like people are just, we'll hear that and it'll be like, well, man, why was she like doing this for the protest? And then once the protest didn't go the way she wanted it, she just like ended the protest. What was that about? It's like they still won't acknowledge and say, well, maybe she is trifling just a little bit. Maybe she is. Maybe she is not. Maybe she's not really concerned about her daughter's death. People are so quick to make excuses, and I'm talking about us. We so quick to make excuses for her, and it's like, why is she even talking about money? She don't need them little few $1,000s that them people out there raised out there, even if they was doing wrong with the money, because she wasn't even out there half the time. It was them people that was out there most of the time. Yep. Them people was out there in them streets every day. They was the ones showing up. She wasn't out there every day like they was. So why do you even care? And you already got some. We're not even talking about the fact that your funeral was paid for your daughter. So you didn't have a dime to pay there. But then you had somebody donate. Your donations alone, which went straight to your pockets, was over $25,000. Who gets $25,000 for their daughter dying? It's like a life insurance policy,
Shit,
pretty
what
much,
you
that
said?
you
My
get.
grandma died here. I ain't heard nobody get 25.
Exactly.
And I love that
She didn't
woman
get
dead.
25.
I ain't heard
Exactly.
about no 25.
And I'm sure she was a good woman. And she didn't get 2,500, but
Yes,
yet
she
still,
was. Yes, she was.
you know.
Yes.
And your daughter was sitting here drunk, high, walking around a hotel and stumbles into a freezer that she can't get out of. And as sad as that is, she still, you get $25,000 for free 99. And ain't nobody saying, well, man, ain't that kind of a little greedy for her to be worried about this? And not to mention and I'll leave it at this. And everybody and their mama know that you got a lawsuit in to where you suing the hotel and they gonna settle, so you gonna get some kind of money off of that too.
There you go.
So come on, man.
There you go.
You argue with these dudes for 3 or 4 racks or whatever they done raised or whatever. You squabbling over that, and you got $25K off top and a lawsuit pending. Come on now. Come on. I can't feel for her.
Absolutely. Right, I don't either, brother. I don't either, brother. Brian, thanks so much for accepting my call. That's all I got right now, brother. And I appreciate your support, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in, brother. And I'm going to get to some of these other people right about now. Thank you, sir.
No problem. No problem.
All right, let's go to the next caller. 405-397. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Brian? This is D. Rivas. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. No. That shit cracks me up every time you do that.
Yes, sir. So, man, let's jump right in, man. So you said you disagree. What? Let me hear your thoughts, man.
I disagree on it. Like I said, I'm trying to become a cop myself here. I'm from Oklahoma City. I'm trying to become a cop myself, so I'm in these classes. I know a lot of knowledge of that.
Okay.
And the reason why they don't run away, cops aren't trained to run away. It's let me give you an example. Let's say I'm a small dude. I'm about 5'4", 5'5". I'm a small ass dude.
Okay.
If I pull over this big ass 6'6", 6'7" dude, trust me, I'm gonna be scared for my life. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? Regardless, we're all human beings. We're all gonna be scared. It doesn't matter if you're a cop. Doesn't matter if you're a fighter. It doesn't matter. We're all scared. We're all human beings. How you handle the situation, that's what it all boils down to. I'm not saying I'm just going to go out and shoot everyone, no. But an officer just can't run away because he's scared, because that's what they're there for. Let's just say he pulls someone over. Let's just say he lets him go. What if that dude ended up killing someone because that cop let him go? So now that officer is going to be liable for that, or he could lose his job. And I ain't going to lose my job for letting somebody go. You know what I mean?
Right. So I hear exactly what you're saying. And so with your training, have you had physical training yet? The combat training yet? Hand-to-hand combat? Have you had that stuff yet?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm going to school. It's for associates program. It's called CLEAT. Gets you certified. So I'm taking the classes to be certified for a police officer. So, like I said, I know all that. I know a lot of that stuff. I don't know it all, but I know a lot of this stuff. And what it really boils down to, man, honestly, is it all starts at home. Respect. You respect people. I'm Mexican. I've never had a gun pulled out of me by a police officer. Why? Because I do what he tells me. I got pulled over the other day. I guess I freaked him out. I got pulled over. I was rolling in my girlfriend's car. She's got a dark ass tent. I stopped the car, rolled the window down. I guess I must have freaked him out because he made me get out of the car. He didn't come up to my window. He made me get out of the car. I rolled down my windows, turned the lights on, everything. Made me get out, then pulled out a gun on me. I didn't question it. I get it.
Right.
But it all starts, in my opinion, at home with respect. No one wants to respect their elders anymore. No one wants to respect authority anymore. And that's the problem. Police officers, they do have authority. But when they pull your ass over, they have control over you. That's you violated the law, regardless of what law you broke. Whether it's tail light, I don't care. He has to have a reason to pull you over. Once you're pulled over, he has, the authority over you. Once he says you can go, then you can go. You know, unless you then violate a law and he's just talking to you, then yeah, you know, you can't leave, or you can leave, you know, if you didn't violate the law. But yeah.
Let me say this. And this is coming from the fact that this is what I'm about to say is basically this is fact based on what I was taught when I was a sworn deputy at one of the counties that I live next to. I was a what they call a reserve officer. I carried a firearm, all that kind of stuff, and handcuffs, whole shebang, vest, everything, right? So we had to go through the physical training. We had to go through the pressure point training and all that kind of stuff. We had to go through the hand-to-hand combat. We had to learn the different locks, wrist locks, all that kind of stuff, holds and stuff that we could use, holds stuff we couldn't use, different type of strikes and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that we were taught was to say, you have to being that law enforcement officer, being that person in that authority position. With that being said, you have to not only be able to take control of the situation, but you have to be, 2 or 3 steps ahead. And what they meant by that was you needed to be able to, you need to always be able to think past what it is that's right in front of you. So you got a guy that you're sitting here talking to and you see that this guy is getting belligerent or this guy isn't obeying your commands. So now you have to, based on the force continuum, you're going to level up and do something. Either you're going to go hands-on or you're going to get a baton out. You're going to draw your firearm, whatever the case may be. You're going to use mace or pepper spray or taser, whatever you're going to do. You have to think not just about what you're going to do, but you're going to have to think about what you're going to do if that doesn't work. And then if that doesn't work, what's the next step? Right. So that was something that was so valuable to know, because when you think about that, number one, you get a different type of respect on the situation that you're in. You respect the situation a little bit more because it's not just saying, oh, I'm the police. You're going to do what I say. And if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to put this taser on you. Well, if the taser don't work, then what am I going to do?
Big Billy Badass.
Exactly. So if this big dude takes that taser, and that happens, well, there's some people, man, that they can take that taser. So if they take that taser, now what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot this person? And then you have to put into perspective to say, why am I stopping this guy in the first place? So I'm stopping this guy because let's just say he was jaywalking, right? So I'm contacting this dude and going through all of this. So now I'm going to level up and go to a taser and then possibly go to a firearm over a jaywalk, right? And if you think about that, is he breaking the law? Technically, yes. Do you have the right to stop him? Absolutely. Is it worth his life being lost or possibly your life being lost? And that is where you have to really put things into perspective. And not to say that you need to get in your car and leave, but you getting on your radio and calling for backup, saying, hey, man, I'm going to need a couple more guys out here. I need some backup immediately, whatever. And now you got people coming on the way that can assist you to where you don't have to use that taser. Or if you do use that taser, you got 4 dudes with you now and y'all can go hands-on. So now you have, because you've used your brain a little bit more and you made the right call, literally, you're now able to eliminate the firearm possibility, which would mean somebody losing their life. Now, maybe somebody might severely get their ass beat, which will probably be well-deserved. And the fact that I had to call my guys and the fact that we down here on the ground scuffling, you may just deserve that ass whooping and a couple of extra knees. Whatever the case may be. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's it, right? That's how it goes. But for the simple fact of that, if that happens and that's all it takes, and that dude just got a couple of bruises and bumps, and the guy's got a couple of scrapes, so be it. That's the job. But for somebody to have their hands up, and because you're so afraid of them, because you think they may be on drugs, which they could be, they may not be listening to your commands quick enough, which they could be, or they may be talking or acting in a weird manner that you've never seen before, which puts you on the edge to the point to where you discharge your firearm and you take a life over a traffic stop. I can't go with that. If you're that unprepared and unequipped to handle that situation and you don't have the right tools or the right training to do it, then you should suffer consequences for it. Because if I'm a doctor and I get you in my OR, and because I was high doing this certain procedure in school, and I also failed it when I was going through my internship, I'm not really good at it, but I go through with it anyway, and I either take your life or I cripple you, you can absolutely sue me and I can lose my license and lose my job. Why can't that happen with the police? Same exact thing. So it's not, and you're talking about a guy who comes from a law enforcement family. My old man was a Chicago police officer for 30 years. I have nothing but the utmost respect for law enforcement officers. Good ones. They're not all perfect, and a lot of them make mistakes, but there are a lot of untrained dudes that are in these positions, and they are so gung-ho about having that authority because they've never had it, that it goes to their head and they don't make the proper decisions. And then in hindsight, when they play Monday morning quarterback, the tragic thing about it is that somebody's lost their life. So you have to think about that. I think every police officer should want to go home every night. They should want to get to their families every night. And if that means me not going hands-on with a dude and stalling for 10 minutes until my guys get there, even though you may think it makes you look weak, you going home and this dude is going home too. And I think everybody has a right to that to some degree.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The training, it's all in the damn training, though. You know what I mean? That's how the hell they're trained.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do get what you're saying. I do get where you're coming from, especially something so small. You know what I mean? I totally get it. It sucks though, because over something so petty, it could have been avoided to begin with.
Yes.
That's why I came back to it. It all starts to respect.
Yep.
All that could have been avoided from the get-go. It's just simply complying, knowing the rules, knowing the laws, and that's the thing.
Absolutely.
I feel like they're not teaching that at home. They're not teaching that at school. And then with all this crap that's going on TV, it's just making it worse.
Yep.
It's like the worst time to be a police officer right now.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I hear it all the time. But stuff like that just motivates me, to keep going and keep trying. Because like I said, I'm Mexican. There's like not that many Mexican cops here in Oklahoma City. Even when I go apply at places, I'm like the only Mexican applying. It's usually me, 1 or 2, 3 black dudes, and that's it. The rest, I went to apply somewhere. It was 150 people. Out of the 150, I was only Hispanic, about 2 or 3 blacks. The other 146 were whites. And what does that tell you?
Right.
We need more minorities in the police department, regardless of what. Regardless of Asian, Hispanic, Black, I don't care. But we need more minorities.
That is very true. And I think that what you're saying makes so much sense. I think that the people, we need to be police in our own community. And I mean that in 2 ways. First and foremost, the people that live in your hood, that live in your neighborhood, in your community, you should be the main ones policing each other. When you see somebody do something crazy, don't be so quick to fall for that snitches get stitches type of mentality, or I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. It ain't my business. You need to be the main one telling the police. And part 2 to that is the police that police these communities, they should live in these communities. It should be a part of that law to where the larger percentage of police departments or precincts, those officers, the greater majority of them, let's say at least 70% of them, should have to live in that community, because that way you have a different respect for where you live and the people that live there, because you see those people when you're not at work. You see those people when you at home and you cutting your grass on the Saturday morning. Them the same people you might wind up coming to their house that night after you clock on, and you have to break up a domestic because you know them and they know you. Then they're more inclined to allow you to be in that authoritative position and to bring the peace and to uphold the law at the same time. You're more inclined to take better care of people you know than people that you don't know. You know that I'm not a gangbanger because you see me every day, and you know if I'm on the corner, I'm just going to the damn store. I'm not out here selling drugs because you see me when you off for them other 3 days that you off work or whatever, or when you on furlough. You see what I do. You know me. You've known me since I was a little kid, but that only comes from being in the same community. And I think that that's something that's huge. And I also think that new trainees, they need to spend at least 9 months with an FTO. At least the greater majority of a year, they need to spend day in and day out with so many officers just on there before they get to go on their own. Because you learn so much, not just by doing things repetitively, but you learn the people skills that most veteran officers have. and it takes them a long time to develop them. But if you're exposed to it soon enough and long enough, you'll get that too.
Yep, and I agree with you on that certain extent. Trust me, around here, man, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a police officer, I would not want to live in the southeast side of Oklahoma City. I came from that area, the badass neighborhood. So I'm just saying, I would not want to live there as a police officer.
Imagine,
but I do get what you're saying.
If it's more of you all living there,
better.
yeah. If you and in all honesty, one police officer on one block will shut that block down. Ain't nobody is gonna be selling dope on the same block that the police is living on. And that's just one block. And you talking about this officer that lives there, he walking around there, he's shopping over in that area, so people see him and know who he is, so therefore he knows who everybody else is. That's how you change the neighborhood. You get your drugs out of the neighborhood, you get the gangs out of the neighborhood, man, you got a pretty fucking peaceful neighborhood. Because that's what brings the ruckus. That's what brings the drama, you know? So, but man, dude, great points, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. What's your final thoughts? Your final word?
No, I agree with you, man. Like I said, I just feel like sometimes the police departments do it on purpose to. I feel like if I was to become a police officer, I feel like they would not be. I feel like they would not put me with. Like if I was to become a police officer in Oklahoma City, I feel like they wouldn't throw me on the southwest side or the northwest side because it's a higher Hispanics. And I feel like they think if you're more with Hispanics, you're going to be more lenient with them rather than enforcing the law. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I feel like they do that on purpose as well because they don't want you with your own people because, you know, we love our people. You know, most of us, we stick to our own. That's how we are. That's how we're raised. But we're going to be a little bit more lenient with, the guy that has a broken tail light. He's a Mexican dude. I'm just going to cut you some slack. You know, so I feel like they do that on purpose.
And,
I know.
And
I
that
get what
is
you're saying,
so
man.
true, man.
And as to the subject, it's all a Peacock show, especially this Black Lives Matter stuff. It's a joke. They don't complain about all the killings in Chicago, but, you know, when an officer kills a black dude, they want to sit there and complain. But, yeah, I totally agree with you, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the call, brother. I appreciate it, man. As always, man, it's good to hear from you, man. And
all right, Brian.
No.
No.
I'm gonna give it to you one time. All right, man. You take it easy, man. You have a good night. Later.
You too.
All right. Let's see here. What is going on with my earphone? There we go. That's better. All right, let's go to the next caller. Here we go. 416-908. You on the air. 416-908. You are on the air. 416-908. 416-918. All right, maybe he just listening or she is just listening in and don't want to talk. So I'm going to click right back off. And yeah. What is going on with my wait, hold on. There we go. That's much better. All right, but yeah, so I guess we can get ready to wrap this thing up, man. I definitely want to appreciate everybody that called in, and I want to give a shout out to my man Super T with the donation. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it, man. Y'all just don't know, man, how good y'all make a brother feel, man, just by, man, showing some love on the donate side of the game, man. It keeps me going, man. It keeps me going. Yes, sir, indeed. I just want to also say thank you to everybody that has given me shout outs for condolences, man, about my ex-wife, my ex-wife, oh my goodness, my wife who lost her grandmother a few days ago. It's definitely been a lot of love and support coming from the Soto Nation, and everybody on the channel has been just sending shout outs and just giving me tremendous amounts of love, and I appreciate that so much, man. I just want to say thank you to everybody that is taking out the time out of their schedules to do that, man. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, too, man. Not that everybody knows, but this is also the day that my aunt passed away. This is actually her birthday and the day she passed. It's so weird that happened. But shout out to Auntie Jan. To those of you that know her, to family that know who I'm talking about. I wish I was at Pepe's today with your auntie, and you were definitely loved and appreciated. And I miss you terribly. But at the end of the day, we all must move on, and I'm still trying to make y'all proud. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that has taken out their time on tonight to come through and to log on and check your boy out. It really means a lot to me, man. I love sitting here talking with you guys. I really enjoy myself, man. You guys have no clue how good it is to be able to do something that you love, man. And, man, I definitely love this, and I love you guys. I'm going to check in with 416 one more time before we wrap it up and see what's up. Let's see what happens. 416-908. 416-908. You are on the air. Going once. Going twice. Man, D, like you going to get two tonight. No. All right. There we go. I checked in with him twice, so it is what it is. But I just want to say thank you to everybody else. I want to say peace and shout out to the Soto Nation. I want to say peace to my brother Tommy. I want to say what's up to my man DJ Just J. I want to give a shout out to Packer Girl as well. I want to say thank you to everybody that's checked this out. Please like, subscribe, and share. The channel has been growing. We over 1,100 subs, and that's what's popping. I want us to try to get to at least 2,000 before the year's out. So, man, send this to somebody and tell them to subscribe. If you like it, oh, man, have y'all been clicking that like button? Let me see about this damn like button now. Hold on here now. Because I know at one point we had like maybe 40 or 50 some people watching. So I know I should have at least, oh, there we go. We got them likes up. That's what's happening. I appreciate everybody hitting the likes up. And, man, go ahead and take this link and share it with somebody. Give it to somebody else to check out, man. And if you guys got any other questions or thoughts, actually, I can do that too. I got about 12 more minutes. You guys got any questions or anything or any other thoughts in the chat? I can shout some of that out. Let me see what's happening. Pull this up over here. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Yes. Yep. Good night. Stay safe. Yeah, man. Let me scroll back through here a little bit just to see. I hear static noise. Yeah, that was the little phone line thing. I had to fix that. Got the static taken care of. We should be good. Thank you. It's a great show. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys like it. A lot of times, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, what's up, Sinead? I didn't know you was in here. What's happening? You know, I try to stay focused on my thoughts and what I'm saying, so I'm making sense, or at least some kind of sense, so I don't get to see who all jump in and out of the show. But yeah, I didn't know you was in here. What's happening to everybody else that came through, at least stopped by? I appreciate it, man. You guys really make this thing special, man, and I just want to say thank you. All right, looks like nobody don't got no questions or nothing like that. I sent the shout outs to all my people. I said happy birthday to my auntie. I said thank you to everybody that has donated tonight. Let me double check that, because I definitely don't want to miss nobody, man, because it definitely I definitely appreciate everybody, and I do make mistakes from time to time. So see, I'm glad I checked. Thank you so much. Let me make sure I got this right. Oh, that's my boy. Okay, Dual. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate the donation. Dual Revis, thank you so much. And that was a great call, man. Great conversation, dude. And I hope that you get to be the police, man. You definitely a dude. We need people like you to be the police, man. People who got reasoning and logic, who can listen and definitely be able to help people, man, because it sounds like that's exactly what you want to do. So I hope you do get to your goal, brother, and I hope you can help some people out here make a difference, man, because that's exactly what counts, man. That's where it starts, man. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm glad you all enjoyed the topic. I'm glad you all enjoyed the show. And to everybody else, man, that came through, I thank you. To those of you that are watching this on the replay, I want you to go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and just send it to one person. If everybody here can send it to one person to get at least one sub, then that's how we can grow this thing, man. This is the Relationship Rehab. I am Brian Redman, the doctor of discussion, and I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you. Peace. And I'm out. Oh, wait. I ain't got to do that no more. I can play me an exit track. Hold on now. This my man put me on. Let me find something to bump here. Yeah, we can do this. What was the last one I played? I think that was it. I think so. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and let this ride out. Yeah, it's about another 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up a few things and get it together and let y'all check this out. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this. Yeah. That's what's up.
Fellas, I wonder what your man if I talk to you a minute.
So it's like 3 songs I think I played tonight.
I'm suffering all this pain that love caused me.
I think I might have to drop some bars, man. I'm gonna have to pull out that old Sonny Batch from back in the day and drop some bars, man, on one of these tracks or something, man. Maybe do some vocals or something. So boy might have to hit the studio up over the next couple of months so we can get real official up in here, man. But thank you guys. I love you guys. And man, let me know what y'all think about the track. And man, I'm out till next time. Oh yeah, and tomorrow I know we gonna have I believe we still gonna have the You Dig. And I'll definitely be on that, man, if I got time for that. So that's definitely going to be popping. Y'all be sure to check that out tomorrow, the You Dig, and then that'll be on Wednesday, too. I don't know when Tommy doing another show. I'm sure it will be in the next couple of days, hopefully, because I miss that brother doing his shows, man. I tell you, I love that brother there, man. And I think that, the You Dig definitely going to go down tonight. I'm pretty sure of it. So be sure to check that out, and I'll see y'all then, man. Peace. What's up? You're welcome, Jakes. Thank you. Thanks, D. Yeah, this is a little old school. Do y'all know who this is that's singing? See if y'all know y'all artists or not from back in the day. Does anybody know what that sample is from? That is the legendary Bobby Womack. There it is. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.